Hello, friends. Welcome back to Theology and Motion. I'm your host, Joseph, and I have the privilege of being part of the teaching team at Kailua Assembly of God, suffering for Jesus over in Hawaii. But today, I want to share with you another class of within the Assemblies of God, or AG for short, known as conflict management for church leaders. Today, in this episode, we're going to talk about what we all face conflict, specifically for those who are following Jesus, how God calls us to deal with conflict graciously. Conflict is not a problem. It's an opportunity for growth, for deeper relationships, and to reveal Jesus to others through how we relate to them. I'm going to be specifically speaking through section 8 of this class, and there's four points I want us to hone into. Point number one, if you're taking notes, is conflict management. Conflict arises when people disagree, but the Bible gives us insights on how to handle conflict. Conflict management is dealing with disputes and disagreements between two or more people. There's five types of conflict management styles. The first one is accommodating, which is completely cooperating to resolve the matter. The second one is avoiding, stepping aside so as not to add fuel to the fire. The third one is compromising, finding a moderate position that may not satisfy everyone. Then the next one, the fourth one, is what I'm into. What I'm called to do is collaborating, working together to discover a solution that is benefit to all. And the last one is competing, standing firmly in a position that may have division to another. Nevertheless, regardless of your style, there are biblical guidelines on how to present our differences and not to interrupt and not to gain tension. The Apostle Paul said it this way to the church of Ephesus. In Ephesians 4:15, in the New Living Translation, it reads, "Instead, we will speak truth in love, growing in every way more and more like Christ, who is the head of his body, the church." Point number two, if you're taking notes, is understanding motivation with the Enneagram. And I know some of you are asking me or sharing with me, man, this exercise, this personality test is from the world. I'm here to share with you. God can use anything and anyone for his glory. Amen. Let me say another way. This Enneagram, this personality test is supplementary of the Bible. In other words, is secondary from the Bible. The Bible is the number one primary resource for us to grow in our personality test. Amen. But this Enneagram, let's go into this. Conflict is not only determined by actions, but by the motivation we possess from our actions. This personality test, the Enneagram, allows us the means of looking at ourselves as belonging to one of the nine personality types, to inherit it, to make up and prophetic of our personality strengths and also limitations. Let me say it this way. The book of Proverbs 25, it reads, "Though good advice lies deep within the heart, a person with understanding would draw it out." Knowing the truths of our motivations and others helps us to respond to others from empathy, patience, and wisdom rather than react out of anger or frustration because of their actions. Point number three, if you're taking notes, is Christianity is a relational movement. In other words, those who are following Jesus fundamentally is relationship. We are called to grow in a right relationship with God. That's key. That's king. With God, with others, and with ourselves. Conflict becomes not a barrier, but an opportunity for growth and restoration. Jesus said it this way in the Gospel of Matthew, Matthew 5:9, it reads, "God blesses those who work for peace, for they will be called the children of God." Conflict properly handled becomes a ministry done together in reflection of the work of reconciliation done by Jesus. Now let's transition to practical steps. But the fourth point is practical steps of becoming a peacemaker. Some practical steps is to listen and to engage, actively listen without interrupting. Let me say it this way. Paul said to the church in Rome in Romans 12:18, "Do all that you can live in peace with everyone." This does not mean to agree with everyone. There's a lot of scholars that disagree with other scholars within the Christian worldview. but we're called to live in peace with everyone. Personally, this reminds me that empathy and patience are spiritual disciplines. In ministry, when conflict comes, and I promise you, it will come, we must operate through clarity, love, and grace, dealing with people and allow conflict to be an opportunity. As I close, I want to ask you or encourage you, identify one relationship that you have a difference with or tension with. And I encourage you to ask God, how can I do this reconciliation? And I promise you, the Lord will guide you through it. In closing, we are called to be peacemakers rather than conflict avoiders. Let us listen well, love deeply, and pursue reconciliation in our settings where God has placed us. Thank you for joining me today in Theology in Motion. Let's walk in peace of God today. If you have been encouraged, please like, subscribe, and share. God bless.